Welcome to the Prime Real Estate Network podcast. I'm your host, Ric Davis. If you don't follow me on Instagram, I invite you to do so at Prime Real Estate Ric. If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in residential or commercial real estate anywhere in the great state of Texas, but especially here in the city of Houston, you can reach me directly on Instagram at Prime Real Estate Ric. I want to thank everyone in the audience for tuning in this week. It's an honor and a pleasure to bring this episode of the Prime Real Estate Network podcast to you, just like we do every Thursday here in the noon hour, man. We have a really exciting show planned for you all. I want to wish everyone in the audience a very happy new year. This is the first Prime Real Estate Network podcast episode of the year 2023, and this is our Real Estate Forecast 2023 episode. On this episode, we're going to introduce you to one of the most highly respected, award-winning realtors anywhere in the great state of Texas, and at the same time, provide you with our opinion on what we see coming up on the horizon as far as real estate and investing in the year 2023. But first, I'd like to introduce my co-host. He is not only a highly successful real estate broker, he's a multi-time author, serial entrepreneur, the proud proprietor of the Pure Hustle clothing brand. I want to thank him for sitting in with us in the year 2023. And I would like to give a big, huge shout out and thank for sitting in with us, the Texas Real Estate King, Mr. LarryWBrooks. What's going on?
Yo, you in the Jordan year, baby, 23. We in the Jordan year.
Hey, look, man,
those that don't know, that was my basketball guy growing up. You know what I'm saying? I was locked into the Jordan guy. That was the athlete of the decades.
No, absolutely. So what we want to do is this, Larry. Big, huge shout out. You know what today is, man. Today is January the 5th. So we want to wish all the highly distinguished, proud gentlemen of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated a happy Founders Day. Big, huge shout out. Man, on days like this, Larry, what does Founders Day mean to Mr. LarryWBrooks? What does January the 5th mean to you on a personal basis?
You know, it's crazy, Rick. It's almost like a birthday all over again, right? Because you get the same warm text messages, you know, it's just in lieu of the word birthday, it's Founders Day. So, you know, knowing what I know about the amazing organization of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, the 20 plus years that you and I have been a part of the bond, man. Just when this day comes around, I'm excited. Even leading up to this day, I'm excited. It's literally like a birthday. I even think over the years, I've gotten more excited for this day as it comes around, the appreciation that I have for this day as it comes around, than even my birthday in most cases.
Hey, man, look, you know, it's a great day, man. There's so many events. I want to give a big, huge shout out to all the brothers out there, man. If you're not in Houston, if you're not in Texas, all over the world, celebrate, man. It's a great opportunity to get together, fellowship, and reflect on those bonds of brotherhood that make the fraternity what it is, man. So
what was your line name, man? I can't recall. What was your line name?
Hey, man, you know, man, it's funny, man. Well, for those who would like to know, because I very rarely talk about things that talk about online, but line name was Cool Breeze, man. I was the tail, I was number 9. So I've always looked at the number 9 as my lucky number, man. Hey, I got on the pledge class sweater today, Larry. I got the old school sweater on today, man, to celebrate this sweater is from 1997. So we got an old school sweater on. I'm happy I can still fit it, man. So yeah, man, it's a great day to be here, brother, man. And it's 2023. This is our real estate forecast show. Yeah, the energy is so great because it's such a great year to be in real estate, to be a real estate professional. It's a great time to be at Brooks & Davis Real Estate Firm. So just for our audience, Larry, how do you feel going into the year 2023?
I feel amazing, man. I think that I think things for licensees, people that are licensed in this industry, is going to continue to get better. Another thing that really jumps out, and I just want to let you mention it, you know, January 2nd at Brooks & Davis, we celebrated 15 years of being together. So Brooks & Davis has been serving the community and serving the Texas area for over 15 years, man. That's amazing to say when you've seen all the things that we've seen go up and down through this industry. So over the last 15 years, January 2nd made 15 years of Brooks & Davis holding strong and being locked into growing within our community, man. So just being able to say that, just knowing that when I joined this industry, I just wanted to be in it longevity. I knew that this was a career opportunity that I wanted to have, and to look 20 years later, as I've been able to 20 plus years later, and say, hey, I'm a real estate professional, and I've grown in an industry that needed me and needed people that look like me and needed organizations that look like ours, and needed structured podcasts like this to bring on, amazing people that are doing amazing things in the industry as well. So, I'm excited just for us to be able to be here to speak about what's going on. Again, J5 is excited just doing our thing, man. So, yeah.
Man, every week at this time, Larry, we give you an opportunity to share with our audience about the background and the history that we have with the guests that we have on here every week. Yeah. So could you just share a little bit about the relationship that you share with this week's guest, how you guys initially met, and what makes him such a valuable member of the Houston real estate community?
Yeah, man. Here's the thing. Again, I was just saying, when I got into this industry, one of the things that I always wanted to do is see more people, young people in our industry, taking advantage of the amazing things that real estate can offer you as far as growing. Myself and today's guest, and you are actually with us as well. We met through Taylor. Taylor is a connector, man. I don't even know how much of that Taylor knows, but he is a connector. We met on one of Taylor's events. Had an opportunity to have a few words. Even at that time, looking at this young man, he was killing it and winning awards. So today I was teasing him. I don't know if to call him Mr. Stage, Mr. Award winner, or where to go with it, man. But we've had an opportunity to just share the same room. And I'm just proud to see him doing so many amazing things. He and I share so many of the same awards, so many of the same organizations. And just to know that, I'm 20 years in, and just to know that one day I'm going to look and as our friendship grows, this guy's going to be, he's a peer and a mentor, man. So I'm just happy to finally get him on the podcast.
Hey, look, man, I want to thank him so much in advance for his time. And without any further ado, I want to introduce this week's guest. This fine gentleman is not only one of the best and most highly respected realtors anywhere in the city of Houston, but as Mr. Brooks mentioned, he is an award-winning, highly decorated real estate professional and entrepreneur. I want to thank him in advance for sitting in with us, and I'd like to introduce Mr. Tory Ramirez. How you doing?
Man, I am just overcome with emotion and just so grateful just to hear those things come from y'all, and just it just makes me just want to say I'm grateful for God and thankful for God for the opportunities that he's presenting to me and the doors that he's opening for me. And it means a lot. And it means a lot to get that type of recognition from you guys and just anyone really. And I think you guys don't understand what I'm saying. It really means a lot that you guys gave me my props like that. And I'm a little emotional, bro. Tory,
the thing about it, man, is that we love getting our flowers where we understand what it means. But not only that, me having an opportunity to know what our industry has looked like over the last 20 years, and then I see someone like you that's on stages, you're in the right places, people are inviting you out to speak to their organizations. That is impactful. That is something that is visionary that you don't even know, but you're touching someone younger than us now that's going to one day want to be a part of this industry because of what they see you doing in it. So that's really why, as we have this conversation and as we've been lucky enough to get you to be a part of our platform, is just those are the things, man, because I know what that visual is going to look like for someone else in the future.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, kind of like just seeing kind of like I was saying before backstage that you really paved the way. And, like you said, we won a lot of the same awards, part of the same organizations. I kind of knew of you before we met on Taylor Ray Hoffer's boat. Shout out Houston Real Producers.
Shout out Houston Real Producers.
I know that he was TRLP and top 20 under 40. And, I looked that stuff up, man. I looked up every year of who won this year and who won that year. And then you kind of compare, hey, what did this guy do with his career? Where did this guy go, right? Yeah. One thing I noticed about you, Larry, is you're extremely consistent. And consistency is like one of I would say the pillars of this foundation, right? And it's like when you see a consistent face, it's like even if you're feeling like low, like, man, can I do this? You look at Larry doing it. Larry at every event, Larry, he does what it takes. Larry's selling merch, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that makes me think like, yo, like you were saying, I'm motivating someone else
Yeah.
And it's like, we don't know who we're motivating or how we're doing it, but that's why it's always on our part to be a good steward, right? And just be doing the right things. Yep. And, you know, like just being just a good person overall. And when you hustle and you work, you know, your good works don't go unnoticed, right? I think that's just a big thing. So shout out to both of you guys, and I really appreciate it. Happy to be here on this show.
No, you know, Tory, the great thing about having you on is because there are so many members of the real estate community, members of our show audience that may have partnered with you, that may have met you before, who may have done deals with you on the seller end, buyer end, but haven't had a chance to sit down with you, have coffee, talk to you off the clock, for lack of a better term. So just share with that audience a little bit about your real estate journey, because Larry's talked to us so much about some of the fruits of your labor, the awards, the success. But could you just illustrate the path that you had to walk from the time you got your license to the point where you sit here now before us?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Before I got my license, I worked at a blood bank and in a warehouse.
That's what's up.
And but I had my own t-shirt line. It's called Skinny Guy, and I used to sell these t-shirts out the trunk of my car. Yeah. And I used to try to manage hip hop artists, all kind of crazy stuff. I was just a starving artist. Mm-hmm. What I wanted to do was provide a platform for young people to express themselves. And I felt like everybody should have opportunity to see what it feels like to walk across the stage and perform and to share their art with people. And that's all I wanted. But I didn't understand that was me being just a curator, right? And I was just like just wanting to create those scenes. But, you know, guess what? That doesn't make money. So it was time to figure some stuff out. I didn't get my big break like that. But I felt like the best way that I can transition into something where my parents would be proud of me is real estate, because real estate, you can create your own brand. You can sell yourself. It's just really all about selling who you are, what you're about, what you represent. And you're not selling a house. You're selling someone on the idea that they need to use your services to get them the house, right? So I got into that, and man, that was hard. It was super hard. I remember I was working while I got my license. I took this job as a bill collector. I was pretty good at it too. I was high on the
retention, boy. You was holding with the retention.
I get you, man. I'll be talking to you and you paying your bill. I'm like, what's happening? I was like, yeah, what you say? When did you say you was going to be able to pay that? Yeah, like all kind of stuff. So, yeah. What's that, Sally? Who did I call for? Call for Avon, everybody, man. I was just calling, man. And I first started my real estate career. I was with Intero Real Estate. Mm-hmm. And the first house I ever sold, that's with Katie Maxwell. I appreciated her.
Yep, first house Katie,
yeah, she's cool. She's at Compass now, I think, or her group. I don't know where she's at. So the first house I ever sold was the house I grew up in. And I remember that. And I remember I was telling my dad, he wanted to sell the house. And I was like, hey, Dad, give me opportunity. And he said the Remax guy he was working with wanted to list the house like, you know, very low, like $50K below what it was worth.
Wow.
I said, I ran the comps. I said, no. I said, sir, we can get this much. Like, give me the opportunity. Give me the chance. He gave me that opportunity and the chance. And I sold that house within a week.
Yep.
So I sold the house within a week. So knowing me, of course, the first thing I did was quit that bill collector job. Please, I'm done. I said, I'm moving on to big and better things. Then I moved.
Let me real quick. I'm gonna interrupt you real quick. So here's what's funny. I actually worked for a company like that as well.
Really?
Because it was very similar. Like you would have to call people and get them to, either keep it before canceling it and stuff like that. But that builds a strength in you that you can't teach, right? Like to be able to call someone when you know they're ready to cancel it.
We'll get Larry in, Tori. We'll bring him back, man. Now, Larry, you broke up for a second, man, but we understand. Okay. We understand what you was expressing, because it's funny when you meet successful entrepreneurs and you get them to openly talk about their background and experiences. You'll be surprised how many highly successful business owners started off door-to-door sales, doing, like you said, credit monitoring, credit restoration, making calls for bill collectors, selling timeshare, that type of thing. So the things that make you callous as a salesperson and a business owner and makes you hungry for success, it's just amazing how those things can translate down years and decades later, and you can contribute or at least give it some credit for shaping how it is that you do business.
Absolutely.
You know, Tory, I mentioned to the audience before your intro that as we start on our journey as real estate professionals in the year 2023, there are just so many messages that investors, buyers, and sellers get bombarded with via television, email, social media. So I wanted to give you an opportunity, to talk about some of the things that you're most proud of that you were able to achieve in the year 2022.
Sure.
And what you see on the horizon for the year 2023, so that those in our audience can have an idea of what opportunities are out here in the city of Houston and the state of Texas.
Absolutely. Thank you. I would say one of my biggest, and I'm kind of taking a look at my notes here. 2022, the biggest thing for me was speaking on my first panel for NAREP, Katie. And that's the first panel I got invited to. And just had an amazing time and had an amazing time with the members there. And I was super nervous because there was like 100 people. I never did a panel in front of that many people. And Rob Villanueva was there and some other heavy hitters in the industry. And I just remember reading those questions over and over again and like kind of studying them and like just trying to see, man, which one of these questions I just wanted to answer like really well, right? Because you get up there and remember these other guys, Danny Garcia, that dude is cold, man. Every time you touch the mic, like I had to like put it down because it was so hot because he was just hot. I was like, man,
all right,
we get one like round because it's kind of like a rap battle in a way. So I want to get a round of applause.
That's so real.
You want something to resonate with the audience, and then I got that with the question that I had the most difficulty answering, and that was a question about basically, I said work-life balance, and I said my work-life balance is I'm going to treat my family with the same vigor and excitement as I treat my job. So when you get that offer in, right, you're excited. Oh man, I can't wait to pick up the phone. You notice how you'll pick up the phone and leave an event. It doesn't matter where you're at for someone to call you. Like, hey, right? But if you do it, like, why not do that with your family, right? What would that be like if your brother, your sister's calling, or your mom or your dad, and you stop everything you're doing and just treat them like that? So I learned to love the hustle as much as I love my family, even more, right? And back and forth. And I answered like that. And, it really resonated well with the crowd. And shout out Tyler Green. He works at my brokerage, Kruger Real Estate as well. And he created that reel and was able to share that and helped me express what my thoughts were. And so that panel went very well. Then I did Taylor's panel and I got invited out to do his. And I think that was the master class. I think I forget what class it was. But I had a great time. I was along. Who was I with? I forgot everyone's name. But it was.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, that was a good class. It was
a great panel, and I'm very appreciative of Taylor for inviting me out to do that. And one award I won this year was the Texas Realtor to Watch Award, and that's when they recognize you for leadership, community service, and sales, and things and everything, right, combined.
Yep.
And what happened was like I transitioned last year into a role of a recruiter at my brokerage because James Kruger, who's my mentor, really was like, hey, man, I have an idea. When we talked about it and I told him what I wanted to do, he said, well, hey, how about you recruit people here and you train them? And he said, hey, hire 24 people in a year. And I hired, he said, hire 20 people in a year. I hired 24 in 6 months. And then the conversion rate started going up, right? I started training people, and I implemented this program with my colleagues at Kruger. It's called Morning Hustle. And that's why I call myself the Morning Hustler. And then we would wake up early, we read books, and we would talk about our challenges, our successes, our gratitudes, every morning, and like kind of created this thing out. And, I really was appreciative of the time that I spent with those agents. So I learned so much from all of them. The award was great. Being featured in Texas Realtor Magazine was fantastic. But I really started getting addicted to the feeling of helping people. And when someone comes to you that's kind of like you, that's like, man, they're just trying to figure it out. Right. And there's no cookie cutter answer to, well, you got to work hard. It's like, nah, everyone's different. Right. Like, I don't know. Like, I started trying to figure out, coming from a place of curiosity, like, why are you having difficulty communicating with this person, or where's the real hang up? And then I started becoming more empathetic, because when you're in sales, you know how it is. It's me, watch out, bro. You know, and it's like, but like once you start getting into that position where you got to help people, you got to start being sensitive to what their needs are. And then you start realizing, well, shit, I don't have to deal with a lot of this stuff that this woman may have to deal with, or that this guy may have to deal with, right? You know, I haven't had to been in a situation where things are difficult, and I really, really am depending on this deal to work. So I think that what comes with it is understanding, and I think that full year of me recruiting and understanding, and this past year was hard economic forecast wise. I hosted that for HAR alongside Samantha Plummer in YPN, and we saw.
Shout out to Samantha. She's an alumni.
Big shout out to Samantha.
Yeah, Sam. I love Sam, man. She's great. And so basically, you know, we were announcing it. I didn't even read. I was just reading it off the screen. I had to go back and actually read it. So this doesn't look too good, right? It wasn't bad, but we started listening to it again. But we did see a slowdown. We did see those interest rates rise. We did see a lot of changes, right? But one thing we didn't really see is like prices go down, right, during that time, you know. And it was hard. And a lot of it was when I was talking to the agents was, hey, this is the time where we take a step back and we, one, educate the client, right? Educate them. They're afraid, but it's always a good time to buy. We don't know that, right? Talk to them. Everybody's different. It might be a good time to buy, but it might be a good time to wait and build your credit. Education, right? And the second thing, which I think really should be the first thing, is relationships, okay? You want to build these relationships with people and nurture these clients. And when they can't buy, this is the best time for you to show your value. Why do you say that? Well, when you can't get something directly from them right away, how are you going to act?
Right.
How are you going to behave? How's your time spent? You know, how ambitious are you really? And you can always tell when the money ain't there. You know what they say, when the money's gone, your friend's gone too, and all this stuff. That's the same with your clients. And the client and the agents that gave up on their clients because they weren't ready, and you're putting out these videos, why you should buy now, I think that's a miss, right? That's always a miss. Yeah, there's always going to be a reason to buy, but that like get to know your client. What are their numbers? What are their beliefs? What's important to them? What are their dreams? If you know somebody's dreams, you can kind of like, well, hey, if you want to do this and you still want to buy this might be a better area for you, and maybe around this time. Let's see what that looks like. And then check on them moment, like, you know, every once in a while.
Yeah, because, you know, one of the things, like you said, like, and what a lot of people in sales, especially real estate sales, need to understand, these people are gonna actually become your friends if you're doing your business right. Like these, I still go to birthday parties, and I've watched 3 or 4 generations grow up inside of homes that I've sold people. And so it's kind of crazy when you think about it that way. So it's like you really do. You're touching if somebody's not ready to buy immediately, you still kind of keeping that relationship going, regardless of what that may look like. Because at some point they will, or worst case scenario, you're turning this person into a advocate for you, and now they're going to go out and help talk about your business, talk about the type of personality and character that you have, even though they hadn't had an opportunity to do any business with you. So like those are some of the things that you're building on when your business is slow, and when, like you said, the things slowing down in our marketplace. So yeah, I agree totally.
Absolutely.
Now, you gentlemen both made great points, and I want to just touch on something, Tory, that you mentioned. The award that you most recently won with the Realtor to Watch award.
Watch award. Yeah.
Right. A, do you feel any extra external pressure to deliver?
Absolutely.
And secondly, I gotta ask you, Tory, for the members of our audience that are meeting you for the first time, this is their first opportunity to engage and hear your story and learn more about you. When is the next opportunity, virtually or in person, will members of the Prime Real Estate Network audience have to meet, greet, and interact with Mr. Tory Ramirez, award winner?
Okay, so first question is absolutely, man. The pressure's there, but it's in a book I read. It's the greatest salesman in the world, and one of the scrolls.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
It says, "Share your dreams with the world, so you can't fail." And so everyone's.
Come on, that's big.
I can't fail now, and I was like, you know, I take that time to, like, you know, breathe in. It's like, you got to win, and then what I stopped doing is stop thinking of the end result. And, you know, I'm always appreciative of my friend and my buddy James, because, you know I get real big, like, hey, I got the end mark, 20 million or 30 or 40, whatever the case is. but it's always the same. Your daily habits and practices every day, right? That never changes. It's like, you know, Larry's kind of a buff dude. You see him out here, but I bet you he works out all the time, man, right? But he works out, and he's done it so long that he's just that's just who he is. That's a part of what his nature and his habits are, right? So I think it's just in terms of when you wanting to be successful, don't worry so much about the end result. Worry about that good habits that it's going to take you to get there, right? And I think that's the biggest part. So yeah, the pressure's there, but I'll never fold up when it's on me. That's what Amigo said. That's what Quavo said. I'll never fold. If it's on me, I got to win. You know, thank God it's not like no sports or anything like that where I had to have skill in that physical matter. It's like, you can never beat me here, buddy. I'm gonna always win here in my heart, you know. And the next time you guys can see me, is at the Real Estate Social. I think that's going to be January 15th. If you want more information, you can follow me at Real Estate with Tory or at the Real Estate Social or Eddie Massa with Riverway Title, right? And I have another thing in February for Are You a Morning Hustler? I'm looking for other hustlers that are looking for opportunities. I want people that are seeking true opportunity. I have a couple of slots, and I'm looking to meet some folks that I want to help change their lives. And I'm not going to say it in a way where it's going to change, it's going to be easy. I'm going to say it in a way that I need help, right? And if you help me, I'm going to definitely help you out. So that's going to be my Morning Hustler event. That's going to be mid-February. You can check on me at Real Estate with Tory or themorninghustler.com. You want to get a little bit more information there. But yeah, that's it. So Real Estate Social, we have those monthly, and that's a great opportunity to come out, network, meet other lenders. I think Yves Azunde is always there with Matador Lending.
Big shout out to Yves, man. That's alumni. Big shout out.
For a long time, man, before real estate, like in the music industry days, you know, way a long time ago. I've known him, man, and I've always admired him too, man. He's just a very, very talented person, man. Like really cool. We should all do a show all together. Can we do that?
Oh, that would be super.
I want to give that. I want to give.
And
I think about Marga, and then when you listen to it, it gives you chills, especially as you go through the process. And those scrolls are so powerful because I think in any form of sales or any form of life, if you use those things and build up really talks about, man, it could change the game for you. But I don't. Every time that's like my second favorite book when it comes to you know, just building that skin and building that tough in order to be in an industry where you got to show up for people or where you need to give people your experiences and stuff like that. So yeah, man, that's a great book that you mentioned.
And to piggyback off what you said, you got to show up for people even when people don't show up for you. Yeah, you got to do it. You got to always do it with a smile on your face. And I'm not trying to drag it out. I read that book a long time ago. The first time I read it for a month before you go to the next scroll. I only made it to chapter 3. So I've only done this for 3 months at a time. I'm going to let this seep in. Read that book. I won't even train them. I won't even like talk.
The thing is if they do, and that's the thing about life. If they do those things, then they get an understanding of how you think as well, right? Then they understand your training and your coaching techniques a little bit more because then they're like, oh, now I get why he says this, why he does that, why consistency is important, why it seems like I'm getting tired of doing the same thing over and over again, but it's building that toughness in me that's going to allow me to want to get more no's or not right now, or how to talk somebody into understanding or helping them meet their needs of asking a question that they don't know how to get out of a person. So yeah, man, like that's smart. Like I never thought about that, but that is super smart.
I'm saying it so everybody gets to hear it. I'm not talk, and I think that, like I said, you're building out this culture, and I want to help do that, and we keep the torch going. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And like to me, that's so important, and it's so important then to be involved in your community and TRLP and YPN. If you get an opportunity to do that, that's how I know who you are, and that's how we meet. And it's just like think of it's just a collective of all these great brokers, and you can bounce off ideas off of everybody every day, and you can and not just so you don't just have to do it the way at your brokerage. So now it's like, oh man, that makes sense the way Larry does, or oh, Rick does it this way, or it's like so now I'm like, or maybe I just create my own way with what I know as well. Congregate and meet folks and create.
It's enough out here for everyone. There's enough bodies. There's enough real estate. There's a plethora. Like there's not a so we can all share stories, be a part of these organizations together and grow and not feel like, oh, I'm robbing from this person. That's not the case. It is so much out here. There's a plentiful for everybody. But we're not going to let you go without telling us, what are your thoughts on going into 2023? What do you think the real estate industry is going to look like? Some of the progression or non-aggression that we may have going into 2023?
This, man, and I can say from the get back in the war, baby, and it's like there's more leads than it was before, right? So the way we can tell is like we work directly with Zillow. We're partnered with Zillow. And we always know, I can always tell how the market is just by how many leads we are getting, right? So there's going to be, I think for the month of January, February, 30% increase in leads.
Oh, wow.
And just what I've been seeing, people are buying again, right? The interest rates they're not super low, but they're not super high. And what's really happening is people are getting used to the fact of, I'm just going to have to buy. This is just what it is. Right? This is just where we're at. At the end of the day, people are always going to need a place to live. And not just that, the city is growing, and it's growing at an exponential rate. And we're getting people from all over the country that want to live here. If I'm not mistaken, we're the fourth, if not the third, almost largest city. And they're building city centers out here. They're building a city center in East Downtown.
East Downtown, yep.
Everywhere. And that's going to be East River. And it's
got
that
golf course going on not too far from there. Yep.
I played pickleball over there the other day. Pickleball's a big thing. We need to get out there and play it. But what I'm saying is we're seeing the change, and people are coming out here and people are spending money and they're buying again. Yeah. Right. So yeah, I think it's slowly like the market is balancing itself out. Like homes, I think may not, sit as long as they have been. They might sit a little bit longer. We're right in the middle. It's like balance itself out. I'm not seeing that many multiple offer situations, but it's still happening.
Yeah.
Right? It's slowly become more of a buyer's market because what happened last year was when we had that time where everyone was like losing out on those multiple offer situations. You remember that during COVID, and it's like and it was just ridiculous. If people were spending $80,000, $100K, $200K over to win these homes. And now what you're seeing is they're trying to sell them, or if their life circumstance change, now they can't afford the home. And now they're not getting as much as they could have gotten in the first place. So I would say that for buyers, this is a great opportunity because it's not as difficult in terms of negotiating, getting kind of deals you want to get. Right. For investors, this is great. This is a great time for investors as well. For sellers, there are buyers out there willing to play ball with you. Right. It might not be as great as it was before, but I'm not seeing too many things go under market value. It just depends. I just think that the market ebbs and flows. And I know everybody was saying, oh, it's going to be this great crash. All I'm saying is we always got to focus on what we see right here. I got people right here that need help. Right. And I got so many people that need help. I need people to help me help them. So there has been a shift. In my opinion, it's kind of in a buyer's market, but not a super strong buyer's market. You can't just be, ridiculous or disrespectful with these offers at this time. But I've seen a positive shift. We're busy again. I'm showing. I think showings have gone up as well. You always want, if you ever want for 2023, it's going to be a robust and flourishing economy. That's going to be increasing property prices, opportunity for investors, because Houston continues to be one of the top real estate. So just take full advantage of it. Get as many relationships as you can, get as many reviews as you can coming out here, right? Just be ready. Like Dillo's been telling us, because people be out here. I think it's going to be good.
I want to thank you so much, Tory, because there's been so much anxiety, especially in the buyer community, those who need to buy, those renters. So I hope everyone in our audience can hear your message, apply it, see themselves in a situation where they can get off the sideline, get involved, get in the game, and start looking forward to building that generational wealth for their future. Absolutely. I know how it is on Thursday, especially with busy people like yourself, man. I want to thank you so much for your time. Thank you. Keep Larry and myself in mind. Like you say, anything moving forward in the future, we would love to support. We would love to get involved. So thank you so much, man. Appreciate you.
Thanks for having me.
Have a good one, man. Until next time. Absolutely. Mr. Brooks, man, look, man, great episode, man. 2023 forecast, man. The energy there. I hope so many members of
definitely a great episode, man. And you're right. Yeah, man, I'm 2023 is here and it's gonna be amazing. So be a part of what's going on. That's the best way we can tell people, man. And those of you that are out there, you're enjoying the information that you get. Make sure you go and follow our guests. Make sure you like and subscribe. Forward this information to somebody else.
Yes.
If you know someone that can be an amazing guest for the podcast, that you know that we can follow and get some gems from, and we want to know about who those people are as well. But I try to keep my posts on the city and know the movers and the shakers, man. So
hey, look, man, look. And like Larry say, man, if there's somebody out there who y'all feel like deserve recognition, has gone above and beyond, reach out to the Texas Real Estate King on Instagram. Reach out to Prime Real Estate Rick on Instagram. We would love to meet and interact with these fine professionals as well. Look, on behalf of myself, Ric Davis, and the Texas Real Estate King, this is Larry W. Brooks. I hope everyone out there in the audience enjoys this week. If you need us, we're right here. But until next Thursday, man, everyone out there, please be safe and be blessed.